started.
This is 5.1.
What's going on, everyone? Legends of Lawtown. Podcast 5.01. Doing the draft review. We got Commissioner Flaps, Commissioner Corey here.
I'm not a commissioner.
Whatever he is, the GM, general manager.
I'm a podcast legend.
T-Gun's the new co-commish. I don't know if you get, does the audience know about that yet? So I just became co-commissioner. But you're still a commissioner, so you can still talk.
What's happened in the last since the last podcast?
Since the last podcast? Well, the last aired podcast was about 2 weeks ago, so lots happened since then. But we had our draft yesterday. Yeah, we had our draft. Howie made an appearance. The champ took his trophy. There will no longer be a trophy on the podcast from now on. Champ finally came to pick it up, which is probably a good thing that the trophy's not.
I think in December we'll have the trophy back here. One of us will win it. Either me or one of the two roommates. It will be back in fucking Woodward Street. Or we will have the champion here for a special champions edition of the podcast.
So no matter what, the trophy will be here.
So the trophy will probably be here.
That's good.
All right.
Analysis.
So
I'm just a little scared right now. I let you have the floor for the first minute and a half, and I don't know what's worse already, you or Pat O'Leary on the podcast. I'm out here wearing the crop top Patriots,
You look good, bro.
getting all excited for football season. If Zeke can't wear crop top the first 8 games of the season, I'll be doing it just for the league
it's 6
itself.
games.
Well, he's also has a bye week as well, too, that he's going to be missing, and by the time it comes in, it's week
So he
8.
can play week 8. So first 7
okay,
weeks.
so first 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, you thought, like, the most embarrassing thing on the podcast would be me wearing this, but it's actually you right here, sitting right in front.
Sure.
all right, you want to start with the roster?
Yeah,
let's go right
let's
ahead.
get on with it.
All right, the first team up is team spreadsheets.
Team
I'm gonna-
spreadsheets. Give us like
I'm gonna read
some
his
of the
roster.
picks.
Read his roster. He has Andy Dalton, Michael Thomas, Sammy Watkins, Emmanuel Sanders, Devontae Freeman, Carlos Hyde, Kyle Rudolph, Pierre Garcon, Doug Martin suspended for 3 games, Marvin Jones Jr., John Brown sickle cell, Jonathan Stewart 40 years old, Theo Riddick, Wendell Smallwood. Pittsburgh defense, no kicker.
So it's a pretty solid team all around. I feel like his receivers, like a lot, is going to come down to Sammy Watkins.
Yeah,
Like if
well.
Sammy Watkins can be a wide receiver too, that's a very formidable receiving core. Running back should be fine. Devontae Freeman, Carlos Hyde, and Carlos Hyde only has to be startable for the first 3 weeks, and then Doug Martin will come in. First 3 weeks though is flex Pierre Garcon. I know a lot of people like Pierre Garcon. but-
So, the team's total trash. Andy Dalton is supposedly on a top 15 offense, not even going to be close. They're coming last in that division. They're going 4-12 this year. He got the most sacks last year, 41 sacks. Been repeating that every single podcast, trying to slam into everybody's fucking face.
Yeah, but Babs.
They
if
lost
you
2
wanna-
guys on the O-line.
You want to attack his quarterback? He's gonna stream quarterbacks. You could
He
go
wa-
for some. You could go for somebody better on his team. He picked Dalton in like one of the last 3
yeah,
rounds.
later.
Lost
let's
2
go
guys
ahead.
on the O-line, so bad pick. Michael Thomas, overhyped, overrated. They lost Brandon Cooks. He's not going to be the same guy. Sammy Watkins, picked early. Obviously wouldn't have been picked early because of the trade. Still fucking sucks. Devontae Freeman, obviously his best pick. That's his anchor. Carlos Hyde, going to put up 28 points the first week. Get hurt week 2. Done for the season. That's it. Doug Martin, yeah, you're going to be waiting 3 weeks. He's going to be doing what he did to make the playoffs. 0-5. 0-5 to start the season, and he'll go on his magic run again. But his team's absolutely garbage. Nothing to even look forward to. Snooze fest all around.
I think it's one of the more balanced rosters as we go through this.
I think he has a floor. If Michael Thomas turns out to be what everybody thinks he's going to be, which I do not think that he's going to be,
Yeah.
he's getting passes from a Hall of Fame quarterback. So he has all the tools to.
That
to
offense
be
puts
that
up
guy.
points though, so he should be fine.
All right, next on the block is down 28-3, Justin Wilcox. No show at the draft. He didn't have to listen to Babs fucking talk shit all day. His quarterback comes in at Russell Wilson, Demaryius Thomas, Kenny Britt, Robbie Anderson, the worst wide receiver 3 in the league. LaShawn McCoy, Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski, Jimmy Graham, dual tight end, retired. Cooper Kupp, this guy thinks he's the next freaking Hall of Famer. He hasn't even seen this guy play before though. Mike Williams, this guy will be lucky to play a snap before week 8. Darren Sproles, Dante Foreman, Jonathan Williams, Blair Walsh, Houston defense. Talk to me, Babs. Light this guy a fucking fire. This guy's he's the trade sheriff, always trading. He doesn't have shit here that anybody's gonna want.
Every team obviously is gonna have a few good guys on the roster that you'll be stupid to talk shit about them. But tons of risk on this team. LaShawn McCoy, he doesn't last all season. He is a top 5 running back, and he can prove that. But that's it. Gronk, he hasn't had a healthy season in 5 years. A lot of risk in that pick. Leonard Fournette just came out, his foot hurt. Not even playing in the 3rd preseason game. He's getting, I'm from what I'm reading, he's hurt. He's just this whole entire preseason.
That whole team
Fournette,
is
it is. Demaryius Thomas, yeah, I like him as my wide receiver 2, low end, not my wide receiver 1. Waste of a pick right there. Kenny Britt and Robbie Anderson is like throwing darts at a board. Who the hell goes 2 tight ends with Gronk and Jimmy Graham, thinking hey, I'm gonna try to get one over on the league and trade Gronk for a RB1 stud? No one's gonna freaking trade with you, Wilcox. No one's gonna fall for your stupid trades.
He fell into
if anyone
Tom's
trades
trap.
with you and you think you're actually gonna be the benefit on that trade, it's actually gonna be the other way around. I saved your ass almost every single year with some sort of trade, and I said that no matter what happens for trades this year, you're not getting any help. Don't freaking text me at 3 in the morning, hey, Bab, should I be doing this trade or this and that? And I used to give you all my insight. You're not even going to hear from
This
me.
year's
make
different.
Make your trade, think you won it, and it's going to be proven that you're not making the playoffs and you're going to come in last place. You always have to go for advice for everybody else.
All right, so look, his receivers are really bad. But if he planned on drafting Jimmy Graham as tight end, if he wanted Jimmy Graham as tight end, he could have skipped on Gronk.
He could have got
Where do you take
DeMarco
Gronk?
Murray.
So no. Well, he's got good running backs. He doesn't really need DeMarco.
Okay,
But
or
let's say he
could've
skipped
did
on
T.Y.
Gronk.
Hilton.
Let's say he
Guys
skipped on
Bryant.
Gronk. So he could have had Dez Bryant and Amari Cooper as his wide receiver. If he has Dez Bryant and Amari Cooper as his wide receivers, his running backs are LaShawn McCoy and Leonard Fournette, and his tight end is Jimmy Graham, we're talking about a very well-balanced team. But
fucked up, bro.
instead, we're talking about Kenny Britt. We're talking about Robbie Anderson.
Honestly, dude, there was a point where he was bitching and moaning I can't come to the draft, I'm not going to play this year. I think we should have just kept him out of it and had someone that actually showed up to the draft. Probably would have did a better job than him.
No, I love Wilcox.
He's going to honestly, at the end of the day, be when he's making his excuses.
Wait. All 3 of us give our best Wilcox excuse. You could go first.
My best Wilcox excuse is going to be, my draft was bad. I had a bad year because I wasn't at the draft. That will just be his
Tom,
excuse.
you're on the
I
clock.
was holding a machine gun when I drafted Cooper Kupp. I thought he was going to be a wide receiver 1.
Guys, I got 3 kids. I don't know how to freaking take care of kids. I'm fucking stressed out.
My gay son took Cooper Kupp.
Hey, you know what I think about Wilcox? Everyone go like this. Not this year, Wilcox. Not
Sorry,
this year.
Hey, and Wilcox is on that 500. He's sitting at 500, right? So he might dip below that 500 line. He might be down there with the T-Guns and the Baez's and So.
Explosion! It's gonna be jiggling everywhere.
All right, next on the clock is my week.
But
one.
actually, real quick, Wilcox is known to make moves and change his roster. He could.
If
flip
he
that
does
shit
it
around.
this year, bro, then he's a legend.
Yeah,
I'm
because
just wondering how he can make his roster
Bro,
worse than that.
Bro,
Sorry.
his bench is fucking bad, bro. Nobody's gonna want anybody on that bench.
No. Yeah, so he doesn't have any depth to trade. So he's gonna have to trade one of those top guys. But he's gonna have to do it before Gronk or McCoy gets injured. He's gonna have to move those guys.
Or Leonard Fournette fucking
Shit's
throws in
bad.
the towel.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of risks, like you said. I wasn't even thinking of the risks or the injuries until you said it, but it does look like that.
Can we pause for a second?
So,
Wilcox,
Station
we've decided station identification brought to you on the WEI network. Bud Light Lime, the best. Wilcox, next year the draft, Foxwoods. Is he gonna come or is he gonna front?
if he doesn't come, we have 4 other guys that want to be in the league.
This is why teams should pay ahead of time and he's probably in the auto draft again next year. They'll have to call all his picks in.
2 straight years not making the draft.
Let's
I don't
not do
think
that.
that's acceptable.
Nobody's auto drafted next year. If all 12 weren't there, we're not fucking photoshopping anybody's face on anybody next year.
Yeah, you blocked me out of the picture because I'm not showing him.
Well, you just like to stay in the
All right,
back.
anyways.
You used to be in the back.
Anyways, we're already 10 minutes in. Third team, my week 1 opponent, Game of Throws, Pat Brophy. Everybody's talking about this guy's team like he might have had one of the best drafts right here. So I'm going to read it off real quick. Killer Cam Newton, Antonio Brown, Golden Tate, Keenan Allen, Darren McFadden, Duke Johnson, Greg Olson, Julian Edelman, Rashad Matthews, Thomas Rawls, Zeke Elliott, Tyler Lockett, Jamal Charles, kicker Matt Bryant, and Arizona defense.
So, I mean, he's got Ezekiel Elliott. If you plug Ezekiel Elliott into there, it looks a lot better.
It does, but where would his...
So let's just pick it up for you guys. Obviously, like where he got Cam Newton, great value. Antonio Brown, I mean, you can't go over Antonio Brown wrong at the 5th pick. Pretty much fell to him because of Julio's pick before him. But other than that, like he traded away DeMarco Murray to get like a Zeke Elliott. You're trading away DeMarco Murray and something else to probably pick whatever it was.
Who did he end up? Who? I want to see that trade because that's a huge trade. What did Pat actually get for that? He got
Zeke Elliott in like a late rounder or something.
7th round pick or something.
Like
Who did he
something
pick there?
ridiculous.
Who did Pat?
It's all over the place. I don't even.
Are you
wanna-
talking about what did
Oh, right
Pat
here,
Brophy get or what did
Jacquizz
Pat
Rodgers.
O'Leary get?
Yeah.
No, that was
Oh, so-
Murray.
See, you can't really.
It's right there,
you can't-
Devontae Parker. He got Parker and
What are you talking
Murray.
about? Parker's the oh-no's. That's.
Yeah, so Pat O'Leary got Parker
Yeah.
and DeMarco Murray
For Zeke
for
Elliott.
Zeke Elliott.
for, what, 6
Zeke
weeks of
Elliott in a
Ezekiel Elliott?
bad.
All what you guys are talking about is nonsense. The fact of the matter is that he traded up. He wanted to take Zeke. Obviously, in a couple days, like in a week, we're gonna find out what really happened. But bro, look at the rest of his team. No running backs on that team. I don't give a
Duke
fuck
Johnson,
about.
RB2.
I don't give a fuck
Thomas
about
Rawls might
McFadden
take
going
this
in
out.
there
I
and
think
shit like
Ross
that.
will take that job.
The fucking Cowboys O-line is just not the same anymore. They're not going to be that same smash mouth offense running the ball. He's got good set of wide receivers. He's going to have to trade them away to make up for what he lacks at running backs. He's going to fuck his team over again by trading. He said it. Oh, like, I always trade my team away. Actually, you should trade your team away this year and actually fix it because right now it's trash. The only good thing you did at the draft was you actually had your whole team out on a list. You came up to me and you said, hey, this is who I have. I give you props for
Buffalo
that one.
Chicken dip, too.
Rest of the stuff during the draft, like anybody can draft
It's good.
freaking Antonio Brown. Like it's not that hard. Rest of the draft, terrible.
So he's probably going to have to trade away Ezekiel Elliott to get some pieces to win
I mean,
some games.
if he's suspended for those,
So he'll have to trade him because you're probably looking at, 1-4 by week 5?
Yeah, maybe
All right,
you know.
moving on to the laughing stock of the league. No guts, no glory. John Howie. Quarterback, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones,
So far,
T.Y.
pretty good.
Hilton, Michael Crabtree, Joe Mixon, Matt Forte.
Matt
Tyler
Forte's
Eifert.
starting running back?
Yes, he is. Tyler Eifert, Deshaun Jackson, Derrick Henry, Kareem Hunt, Jeremy Hill, C.J. Procise, Deion Lewis. I won't even name.
So Howie shocked the league on draft day, but not really in a good way at all.
No.
Like, I think the Deshaun Jackson pick, not only was it a reach, but it was kind of disrespectful to the league. Like, this is a really competitive league. Like, we do a lot of research. What?
For Tom to admit that shit is a big
So,
deal.
yeah, this league, we do a lot of research. We prepare a lot. Everyone does friggin' hundreds of mock drafts. But by taking him the 4th round, it just shows, like, you didn't do research. You didn't prepare. You acted like this was just another public league that you're playing in with your freaking Mr. Takeout plan.
You could definitely tell he didn't fucking dig deep at all. He didn't listen to any fucking analyst.
I think the night before the draft, he texted us all, like, yo, what's a good site I can look up some shit? And he didn't even take our advice for looking up anything.
What do you think, Babs? You could write a book on this one. What was your reaction when he said, hey guys, I think I got a little bit of a reach here, Deshaun Jackson? What was your initial reaction?
Let me just start by saying obviously we know that Howie has had some troubles in this past 2 or 3 months.
You got a girlfriend.
Yes, but personal matters. So I don't want to get too far into attacking. But at the end of the fucking day, Legends at Lawtown is above everything else. And you should have came prepped for this draft. You should have prepped it 1 year ago. 1 year ago, if you told me, hey, do you think Deshaun Jackson's good in the 4th round? I tell you no. Why are you picking Deshaun Jackson in the 4th? Why are you picking Joe Mixon in the 3rd round? Back-to-back bad picks. Fucking you take a Deshaun Jackson. You had a Devontae Adams, Alshon Jeffrey, Tyreek Hill, Calvin Benjamin. Even Allen Robinson is better than Deshaun Jackson based on the volume, the targets. I don't care if he drops half of them. He's still getting more catches than Deshaun Jackson. Even Crabtree. He luckily got Crabtree the next one around. Like, he could have took Crabtree there, then Deshaun around. He's trying to say it like, save face. Like, oh, he fell to me like I got lucky and this and that. Bro, Derrick Henry. Like Derrick Henry. Tyler Eifert. The Super Bowl hangover with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones is going to hurt you. You still have a Super Bowl hangover from a couple years ago. You went 3-1. You're saying I'm the best drafter around. You didn't change with the times, and you obviously fell off. You blew a 3-1 lead. You're gonna be even lucky to get 3 wins this season. It's unreal.
He was like 6-1 last year, and he didn't make the playoffs. So he had to come into this season and make a big statement, and he made it. He definitely made a statement on draft day, but it was just the wrong statement. And we were lucky to give him Michael Crabtree. If Tom goes Michael Crabtree right here, who's his receiver? He'd probably take Larry Fitzgerald. He's been known to be a Larry Fitzgerald guy.
That's actually 100% true.
So then you're looking at Larry Fitzgerald as your wide receiver too.
I will say this about Howie. Like, you could talk all the shit you want, and I will talk shit with you. But just these wide receivers and that quarterback, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, T.Y. Hilton, and Crabtree, you could say Joe Mixon's a bust, whatever. In other leagues, he's going in the 3rd, 4th, so say what you want. But Howie could make some noise, and I will not be shocked. But at the same time, this roster is not going into the playoffs, and it's not going deep into the playoffs if he stumbles upon a playoff spot.
Howie, you had a great draft last year, and I give it to you. I said, hey, you have the big 3 that you got to beat in the first of the season. You had to go through red zone. You had to go through me. You had to go through spreadsheets, and you beat all 3 of them. And I said right then and there, you know what? You earned it. You earned it. And after that, I'm still thinking it went to your head. But the minute you traded up for the 4th overall pick just to take Julio Jones, I didn't even care about what the rest of the thing you were going to do for the rest of this. I didn't even care. You were not on my radar. Like, I wasn't scared of you or anything.
You said because, hey, right when he responded in that do not respond chat, you said that.
I was like, that's it. It's it. It's it. Your season ended before we even drafted on Sunday just by going up to make a move like that. I knew. Like, everything else that happened, just look at that first pick. Yeah. And look what he traded. You knew that was all going to happen.
In the 2nd round, T.Y. Hilton, 3rd round, Joe Mixon. So he already put himself behind, and then Deshaun Jackson round 4.
Hey, you're not taking a T.Y. Hilton, too.
All right, so
he says he's got a different strategy for this season. I just want to know what the strategy is.
I think his strategy is how can I lose the league? How can I be the first one to lose this league and not make the playoffs?
Hey,
that's a strategy.
Hey, bro, he has a night off during the week. Maybe you could get him on the podcast because he has a lot.
Scared.
I think the league could ask him a freaking whole book of questions.
Yeah. I think he needs to come on here and speak for himself.
I want the rest.
I know it took you a couple months to finally come on and be next.
I wouldn't
next
say
to
a couple
me.
months because I think I was on like maybe 2 weeks after you did the podcast with Tom. So
yeah,
all right,
that was like one of
anyways.
those like drunken podcasts.
Anyways, next team, Pryor's posse, that does not have Pryor. Justin Gilman. What's his new team name?
Lynch Mob.
Lynch Mob. He changes his team name every year. All right.
I have his whole thing here because he actually didn't make any trades. One of the rare teams to do that. So I'll go over it. I think I'll give you a break on this one. You can actually go to the next team. He obviously took Le'Veon Bell. Here's the thing too. He got lucky on the Le'Veon Bell thing because if I didn't take anybody early, I would have went Bell and David Johnson. Let's just bring it back. And he would have took Zeke right there. Wow. And even going into the draft, he probably still would have maybe taken Zeke, because we drafted early. We drafted that first round early. Don't forget that.
He would have.
So don't forget that. But taking Marshawn Lynch, not bad, like an RB2, I guess. But like T-Gun said, he's retiring halfway through the season. Like, he ain't gonna last the entire time. Brandon Cooks, your wide receiver 1, obviously a homer pick. Like, You
Really
need somebody
boomer
on your
bust. Really, really
you don't,
boomer
you don't know
bust.
what's gonna happen. Calvin
Yeah.
Benjamin, like I don't want to completely shit on the first five picks because you also got Drew Brees. Drew Brees in the 5th round, great value there. After that, Jordan Reed and Delaney Walker back-to-back picks with tight ends, like that's just kind of stupid. Like it's
So
kind of
drafted two
weird.
tight ends,
Like,
two defenses.
I don't know. I didn't watch Gilman drink at all like during the draft or whatever, but he usually does pretty well to start, and then he just goes and it sucks at the end.
Just 'cause
Right
he's
after this
drinking?
line, like after the 5th round, dude, Jordan Reed, Delaney Walker, Taylor Gabriel in the 8th round, bro, he's the wide receiver 3 on that Atlanta Falcons team. I took Sanu later on. He's the guy that you want to own. Tyrell Williams
He
in the
got
9th,
lucky
not
with that
bad.
pick. He
Good,
got lucky.
yeah.
So that kind
But
of.
then you're going again, 2 defenses, Denver and Kansas City. Like you're gonna get fucked on one week where someone's gonna get 30 points, the other one's only gonna get 5. Latavius Murray's a fucking scrub behind one of the worst O lines in the league. Who the hell takes Robert Turbin in the 12th when my boy Mac over here, Mac O'Marlin over there, was picked in the 15th fucking round? Who was the backup? He was a basic backup. Torrey fucking Smith is so old, like no one cares about. Here's the thing. These picks, like a Taylor Gabriel, you're gonna release them. You just threw away your 8th round pick just
And
like
that's
that.
your starting wide receiver 3.
Like Cameron Meredith in the top of the 9th right there is going to score more points than freaking Taylor Gabriel. So the way I look at it, he's got his core, and I'm not trying to shit
The
on
core is good. That's.
that. Totally.
I don't like Kelvin
The
Benjamin.
rest
You like
of
Kelvin
his
Benjamin?
draft, like not great at all.
So he only drafted 3
I
running
like
backs.
Calvin Benjamin a bit. Yeah.
He drafted 3 running backs and took 2 defenses. He only has 1 more running back than he has defenses on
Yeah.
his roster. That's a head scratcher right there.
So who's his flex?
His flex, he has it as Delaney Walker. I don't like that strategy.
No, I don't like.
Flexing
I
the
don't
tight
like
end.
flexing tight ends unless you had like Gronk and Kelsey.
Yeah.
But even that, I would hate doing that. I don't think that strategy's really ever panned out. There's teams that have taken Greg Olsen, Kelsey together. Gronk and Jimmy Graham has happened.
So I think Gronk and Jordan Reed could work, but Gilman doesn't have Gronk and Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed's 1 hit away just from like being out
Yeah,
the
that's
rest of
true.
the season.
That's true
like,
too. Yeah.
The rest of his
As
life.
is Gronk.
It's true. He's like the Wes Welker right now. He's 1 big hit away from like.
I just feel like who could he have taken instead of Delaney Walker right there just so we could look?
So it's
Delaney
a 7,
Walker.
so it's going that
7th
way.
goes this way.
Yeah.
Devontae
Coleman.
Parker.
I think Coleman just because he needed another running back.
Yep.
So he took Latavius
Terrence West, starting
Smith.
running back.
Yeah, like I mean,
Instead of taking your second tight end, who this guy is not even as good as other tight ends like Kyle Rudolph,
I think I'd rather have Tyler Eifert.
Eifert. Anyways, he could have had Devontae Parker, Moncrief, Garcon, like you said, West.
Jameson Crowder, maybe.
Danny Woodhead was
Danny
still out
Woodhead's
there.
a good pick.
LeGarrette Blunt. I love Jamison Crowder. He could have had a lot of other
Yeah.
guys with bigger upside than second tight end. Anyways, moving on. Next team.
But he will do good. He's got a solid like.
that's why I didn't say like every other team
Yeah.
that it's totally trashed. The only thing trashed was Gilman himself
Yeah.
from drinking and all that.
He was very true.
And luckily he didn't get to come up to the board and make a pick. Otherwise it would have went to somebody else.
All right,
So-
Babs. Take a sip of beer real quick. I got your next team coming up. Spring Sproles.
Still got beer for the working man.
All right, right now we got his quarterback is
My boy on there.
he doesn't have a quarterback.
To
I know.
be determined.
No,
didn't
no
draft.
quarterback.
He's
I
like he's
could
got
write a
something up
book
his
about
sleeve.
this.
He doesn't have a quarterback.
Write a book
Alright.
about not having a quarterback.
Write a book about just the way he made his picks. Like
I don't think not having a quarterback. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Especially look at
Look.
the guys that are free agents.
I mean, I would have rather
I-
taken
I-
a quarterback than a defense.
I went high on this,
Yeah,
and I
He
kept
did take a
saying
defense.
That's true.
Spencer Ware was the best running back available. I firmly believe that. You liked McCaffrey, you took him ahead of him. You still could have got McCaffrey on the next pick.
Bro, I
still
didn't
don't
even
think
read
they
his,
do.
read his roster. The
I'm getting
viewers-
ahead because I'm just so like.
I know you are.
How do the
Like,
viewers
all
know
over
that he
the
doesn't
place.
have Spencer Ware?
All right, ready? So
The
we
only
got
viewers, I'm pretty sure.
Devontae Adams, Alshon Jeffrey, Allen Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Travis Kelsey, Baleel Powell, Mark Ingram, Amir Abdullah, Willie Snead, Adrian Peterson, Mike Wallace, Kenny Galladay, Danny Woodhead, LAD.
So I like his team. He's gonna make the playoffs. I think we all know that. Very solid team. Like you look at guys like McCaffrey and Cook. If one of them busts, he's got a guy in Danny Woodhead he can plug in there. He's got Amir Abdullah. He can start either Ingram or AP. I think it's a good starting lineup. The wide receivers are not deep, but they're
They're good.
good. Adams, Jeffrey, AR-15. We'll see what he does. Willie Snead. You can plug Willie Snead in there as wide receiver 3. So I think it's just it's a solid roster. I know some guys don't like the strategy because there's no like top end talent to carry him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he needs like one guy to carry this roster because he's just got a bunch of guys that just they're gonna chip in, they're gonna do their job.
I'm really excited to see if a roster like this pans out because in the future a lot of guys could be doing the same strategy, trading down.
A lot of guys like to trade up, and now it might start the trend of guys starting to trade down.
Bro, and he fucking killed the 4th round, 5th round, and he got great guys with great value and with great upside.
I like the McCaffrey pick. I know that he doesn't as
I
much,
like it.
but I like it a lot. I think he looked really good.
I could have had McCaffrey. I passed on him. Ton obviously scooped him up. And Ton scooping him up, it kind of makes me kick myself because I respect this guy's opinion and I feel like McCaffrey's going to be good. Now I'm going to target him in another draft.
He's a guy that could like really blow up.
Hell yeah.
Be like, oh shit. Like,
Babs,
Ton-
shoot it.
Ton was handed the keys to the kingdom to get back to the Super Bowl, to get back into that game to win the league, gifted all these picks, all of them, in rounds 4 and 5, and completely fucked it up. Completely. He's taking too much risk in Dalvin Cook that early. You like McCaffrey, fine. I'll get over that. But you should have took a Tyreek Hill. You should have took a Calvin Benjamin. You should have taken Drew Brees at that point because you're not taking a quarterback.
You talking about instead of Allen Robinson? Is that
He should have taken Brees right there.
Yeah.
Just let me get into that right now. That his last 3 picks, 2 in the 10th and the 15th round. The 15th round was a defense. He doesn't have a kicker or quarterback. He has to drop at least 2 10th round players now to grab a kicker and a quarterback.
So that's true. Who does he drop to get his quarterback?
He's gonna have to drop a Galladay and a Mike Wallace. Let's just say he drops those guys.
He'll drop Mike Wallace.
For somebody
I
like
didn't draft Mike Wallace that time.
it makes absolutely no sense. You're wasting on possible other breakouts down here. You should have well-rounded your team up here. Another thing on top of that, he should have took McFadden right there instead of Powell. I think McFadden has more of the upside than Powell. Abdullah, good pick. That's fine. I can agree with that as well.
He knew that Pat was there,
Could have
and
screwed
he
him
knew
over.
he had another pick
But
right
even-
there.
Screwed over.
But
That was really
even a
good.
Travis Kelce or Jimmy, Travis Kelce, I think right after Gronk, tight ends are just throwing it at a dartboard. Like, I think he could have waited. He could have grabbed a Crabtree at this area right here because Crabtree went down here. He could have grabbed him. He should have grabbed Doug Martin. He actually should have, in these couple picks, he should have grabbed Ingram, McFadden, Abdullah, and Doug Martin. And he should have Martavis Bryant. He should have went for guys with upside. And this is something me and Sheets have talked about off camera. He didn't go with the guys with the upside. He's going for guys that are only going to give you the value of the 4th and 5th round, and that's it. I don't see these guys bouncing up to the 2nd round. Martavius Bryant, I know I shit on him a bit to O'Leary off camera as well, but that's a guy that literally has someone that has that potential to give you back
He has
around
top 10 wide
around
receiver,
around 2 value. That's the way I look at that. Spencer Ware, that's why I was so adamant about him, because yes, he went in the end of the 4th. He could bring you back probably the end of the 2nd to the 3rd round right here. Because if you look at some of these guys like Lynch, DeMarco, Miller, like Ware could be there next. He could be in that area next year. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I said that. And again, where else did he have other picks? No, you're just kind of. I mean, he's taken. I think it's smart taking AP and Ingram to see which
like
one
that.
pans out. Like I'm not gonna hate on that, but to take like an Allen Robinson, Travis Kelce, like when you could have had a Doug Martin, Crabtree, Martavius Bryant, even a Larry Fitzgerald, I'd rather have someone like that. You could have had a Greg Olsen later on as well too. So Willie Snead, I think that was a great pick there.
Yeah, that was a
But
good pick.
what another
Woodhead
problem?
he got Woodhead for a good value.
Another problem that I don't like about his strategy is that too many picks. He's gonna have to sit certain players, and he's gonna say, "I'm playing the matchup," and it is pretty much luck of what happens. And it's gonna bite him in the ass, and that happened to Gilman. And Gilman drafted a lot of wide receivers, I'm pretty sure, last year, and he was having a tough choice of who to start as his wide receiver 3. Great wide receivers. You got a great set of like players that I would want on my team. I agree. But you're gonna have trouble. You're gonna have trouble starting somebody.
So you're supposed to start your studs, but
Super Bowl hangover is real. There's only one team that went to the Super Bowl and lost and made it to playoffs the next year. Straight cash homie. Every other team that went to the Super Bowl didn't make it the following year, and I was actually one of those teams. So it was my second time in there. I made it back to the playoffs next year. Super Bowl hangover is real. Only happened once. That was me, because I'm a great GM.
I thought.
Bad commissioner.
Absolutely.
Next team, Untitled.
Untitled. What's the roster? He's got the receivers.
We got Kirk Cousins, Jordy Nelson, AJ Green, Terrell Pryor, CJ Anderson, Tevin Coleman, Colby Fleener, Rob Kelly, Sterling Shepard, LeGarrette Blunt, Samarjay Perine, Gio Bernard, Joe Williams, and Justin Tucker in Carolina.
I'd be nervous with this roster. So we know AJ Green's gonna have weeks where he's scoring 2 points, 4 points,
Hell yeah.
and there's not too many other guys in the roster that can carry him. I mean, Jordy's gonna have big weeks, but the running backs are not gonna if his receivers have off weeks. Those running backs are not gonna pick up the slack. DJ Anderson, Coleman's gonna have some boom weeks, I guess. But even he's in the same boat as AJ Green. He's gonna have bad weeks too. A lot of guys in this roster will have some
Who's his
some
RB1?
bad weeks.
His RB1 is CJ Anderson.
That's a crowd.
Running back.
Okay,
From
so
Denver.
you went CJ Anderson a couple years ago, and he bit you in the ass before. Just saying. Who's his RB2?
When a player does that, do you go after him again?
I would know that, like, hey,
I
this
would
happened to me.
blacklist
Like,
him.
that would, yeah, you should absolutely blacklist you, especially that you've been in the last place.
RB2 is Tevin Coleman.
Tevin Coleman, not bad RB2, low end RB2. I mean, if Freeman goes out, like, he's probably the best guy that would take over a role like that. And he took Blount like really early. Like, did he not see that Blount
Yeah,
was
the news
probably
came
being
out.
cut? Like, happened right before our draft.
The morning of the draft, but
Like-
he did seem pretty clueless during the draft, so maybe he didn't.
I went wide receiver heavy last year, and look how that panned out. It didn't work out well, so I learned from that. I think he should have went a running back early. Like, we could talk about it all day. I'd rather just talk about, like, his team's trash. Like, I'm not scared of it. I'm never scared of Baez. Like, he's just a lower tier team. I'd talk more about him personally. Like, guy was standing right here, like right next to me. He didn't pick for 3 rounds. I don't know what he was trying to look at the board. Then he tries to take Corey Davis at like the 15th round. He was taken in the 8th. He tries to take Adam Thielen like he was taken in the 10th. Like, he was rattled. Like, he just absolutely rattled. Has no idea what was going on.
Yeah, that was
So,
bad.
like, I told him he was on thin ice, and then you see that shit like right in front of, like right here, right in front of my eyes. Like, he's doing that, and it just
Like me, I had a really bad season last year. Everybody knows I know football, but this season, it was like June, and I was listening to fantasy football podcasts and getting ready for this. You can tell it was fucking August 19th, and some people weren't even fucking ready.
Like, honestly, the way I saw
That
things
shit
at the
get-
draft, and we've already went over, say, Baez, we went over Howie on his picks and stuff. David would have just mixed it and no one would have noticed. David honestly has made some bad picks, but I think people made some worse picks than a David. Because the David taking kickers at the end, okay, that's like his last rounds and shit like that. To take a Deshaun Jackson like that,
Yeah, especially some of the early rounds. Like, there were some bad picks in early rounds.
Victor Cruz in the past, like his name was like synonymous with 5th rounds, and now it's gonna be Deshaun
Like-
Jackson. I've taken Cordell Patterson in the 4th round, but I bought into hype. Like, but that's where he was going. There's a difference between like drafting someone where their ADP is and they bust, than reaching for somebody that's all the way down in the toilet.
So Alex Baez, he had 2 first-round picks. Everybody, after these 3 rounds were done, everybody looked at his team and they saw Jordy Nelson, AJ Green, and Terrell Pryor, and they were like, "Damn, this guy has a good team." Now they look at his team and they're like, "What the fuck happened after those 3 picks?" Like,
I agree.
he absolutely fell off. He missed. Like, all these guys over here are fucking good guys, and he didn't get anybody.
CJ Anderson, I'm going to have to agree, was probably the best running back available on the board at the time that he had to take him. But that's your RB1. And he's been up here in the past.
I would have took McFadden over him.
So Baez had 3 picks.
As an RB1
he had
now.
3 of the first 33
For now.
picks, and he did not select an RB1.
He could have.
He could have went Melvin Gordon, Mike Evans, and then had like a Doug Baldwin.
If he went
That would've been-
Melvin Gordon, he would have got Jordy on the next.
Or Jordy, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he could have got Melvin and Jordan and been absolutely.
If you had 3 of the top 33 picks, you would have 3 RB1s in your roster,
and I do,
doesn't.
and I have
and
3
you do.
RB1s.
And he doesn't even have a single one.
All right, moving on. This is the last team before we get to the champion. This is the newest member of Legends of Lawtown. The O-Knows, Pat O'Leary. His team goes Marcus Mariota, Devontae Parker, Stephon Diggs, Corey Davis, Paul Perkins, DeMarco Murray, Hunter Henry, Mike Gillislee, Jaquise Rogers, Martavius Bryant, Josh Doxson, Terrence West, Rex Burkhead, Jeremy McNichols, Minnesota D.
So his roster was scarier. Probably in the last podcast he was on, he had like Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott. Who was this other guy? Tom Brady. That's a scary roster. The guys that you just read to me, like, who scares you there?
Even DeMarco Murray is probably his best player on here. He does not scare me.
I mean, Martavis Bryant maybe breaks out, but he's not going to carry
Martavis Bryant,
that
I would
squad.
say, is his best player. And I like a lot of these players, but I don't like them all together. Like, I feel like
He should have held on to Ezekiel Elliott. He traded him like the day after the suspension came out. We could find out tomorrow that Ezekiel Elliott, the suspension is pushed till next year. And you still could have had him. You could have Odell Beckham, Tom Brady. Like, it's just crazy.
He didn't get the value back for what he gave up.
No.
Probably maybe the Brady trade. I did trade a lot for him. But in that 5th round, like, he took, the Martavis Bryant, like, that's kind of a risk right now about the suspension thing. Yeah, maybe you'll get the upside off of that. Diggs is way too early right there. And, like, Paul Perkins, like, taking him, like, I don't think that was a good pick at all either. Just, like, reaching. Like, I think O'Leary's all about the reaches.
And he didn't reach for Derrick Henry, which he had been talking about for the last 3 weeks in
I
group
love
chat.
that he didn't get Derrick Henry. That's
So what happened-
that's probably a good thing that Howie did.
What happens if Derrick Henry does become the starter in Tennessee? Who does he have on this roster?
Bro, why would you take Rex Burkhead in the 9th round? Like, he's not going to be, like, rosterable. And if someone really wanted him, because there's a homers in this league, he would have went in, like, the 13th, 14th round. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, there's other guys that you, like, well, there was all about, yo, I got those deep sleepers, man. Like, I know somebody that's going to end up being the starter. Like,
I'm reaching.
bro, 5 bench spots, that might be a starter. Like, week 8, like, you're going to drop them. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. You're not holding on to Rex Burkhead the fucking whole season. Pats don't have a bye week until week 9. Like, he's not going to do shit until, like, week 6 or 7 like that.
Like, I'm a pretty, like, big into fantasy football, all this bullshit. I like to show a couple. I'm not one of those guys, hey, look at my fantasy football team to anybody I know. But I will show my fantasy football team to guys that know fantasy and guys that I like, whatever we talk about it. If this was my roster, I would be absolutely embarrassed to show this roster. Like, it is what it is. You could. What's your excuses? We did Wilcox's excuses. What's O'Leary's excuses this year?
Bro, like, my girlfriend, she was really sick, so I was on the phone the entire time texting her and making sure she was okay. I was also high as fuck.
So, like, I don't have an excuse, but if, like you were saying, showing somebody the roster, I would say, hey, look, I'm doing a 32-man league. This is what I wound up with. I took DeMarco Murray with the 24th pick, and then I came back around and took, who knows?
That was pretty funny for somebody that's not funny.
Thank you.
Hey, O'Leary, you fucked up, bro. I think O'Leary's excuse is going to be just blame it on the Zeke suspension. I'm so upset. Zeke beat his girlfriend up, and he got suspended, and I had to trade my whole team. You didn't have to trade your whole team. You had to trade Zeke, possibly.
I want to do a quick shout out, and it's a long shot, but any of O'Leary's league mates from other leagues somehow watching this part of the segment, your leagues are absolutely garbage. You had the chance to have O'Leary represent other leagues that he's in, and it just showed that they mean nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Wait, maybe you can find his friends on Facebook. And
maybe I'll absolutely message them and say, "Oh, yo, I hope O'Leary doesn't."
So he said that he's won the Super Bowl in all of his leagues he's played in, right?
Yeah. He said he's won 4 out of, like, the last 6 years.
Except for this league. Prior to this league, he's won a Super Bowl in every league he played in. I want to see what kind of leagues he's...
Like, he's already bitched out, saying, like, bro, like, if I don't make the playoffs, I'm just not even going to be in the league next year. I'm like, all right. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, people could say, like, you can't win on draft day, but you can definitely fucking lose a league on draft day.
Absolutely, and that's what he did.
He didn't
even lose it on draft day. He lost it way before that. Like, he lost it with that freaking big
August 13th, August 12th, when he traded Odell, that was, like, the first domino. Boom, boom, boom. He lost the league.
You know what's even crazier? Because you did give him I guess you kind of like. What did you trade for Odell?
I gave Gillislee a 5th, which he took
Diggs,
and a 7th, which he took Rodgers. Jaquise. He got Stephon Diggs, Jaquise Rodgers, and Mike Gillislee.
Let me tell you something.
For Odell.
Stephon Diggs, like, great talented player, but dude, Adam Thielen has scored more points than him last year. I just don't see anything worth it in that end of the 5th right there. Jaquise Rodgers, worth it for the first, like, 3 weeks. You can buy into the hype of, like, oh, like, he'll start over Doug Martin. No, that's Doug Martin's team. Like, that's Doug Martin's team.
Absolutely.
And also, what was I to say? I offered him like 2 fists for Odell, and he was gonna take that. Like, absolutely set on
That's
taking that.
embarrassing.
Like your trade actually was better than what I offered.
Not by much. But
Not by much.
he like Gillislee. He's a homer.
But if I never said anything to you, you never found out about it, I would have got Odell for even something worse. That's how much he freaks out, and it's gonna show during the year.
Hey,
Him and Wilcox
I
are
will
gonna be
give
doing
you
the trading
credit.
the most.
I will give you I'm not trying to say we fleeced a guy. We colluded. You text me one day. I was with the Army. It was no earlier than 7
It was
o'clock.
early in the morning.
I mean no earlier than 8. It was like 7ish. By 7:20, Odell was on my team.
Yeah.
So he didn't even take all offers. He didn't bother asking.
No.
If he asked,
up to
if
8
he
guys.
asked somebody like Ton and Ton gave him like 2 fours,
He-
Odell
he-
would have been Ton.
I offered 2 fists for Odell, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Then I said to him, "Hey Corey, maybe you want to make an offer for Odell? Like maybe he has something
You
that
told
I
me
don't
to
have."
after an offer.
Because you know what? Like maybe I want to keep my fist. I don't know. And you made an offer, and then he just snapped on it right away.
I like
Same
that.
thing with the Zeke. The first day the suspension comes out, and I didn't really say that he was on the block. Like he just messaged me and asked, he's like, "What should I trade for?" I said Zeke, and he just offered me a ton of shit for Zeke. Like I don't get it. He just
No.
we love trading, we love doing all that shit all the
So
time.
a
Like,
guy
he's
with-
making his team worse.
A
Like,
guy with that much fantasy football experience should not make moves like that.
O'Leary started here. 1-1. By the time he trades at the end of the trade deadline, his best player is going to be 8-1 and all the way down. That's all his players going to be like down here. Like they're all going to be bad players.
All right, moving on to the champion. Team Dupe. Everybody said him and Brophy so far. It's a consensus. They had like 2 of the best drafts in league's opinion. So here we go. Jameis Winston, Mike Evans, Doug Baldwin, Larry Fitz, Melvin Gordon, Spencer Ware, Zach Ertz, Jordan Matthews, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Kenny Stills, John Ross, Devontae Booker, and then kicker in a defense.
So the knock on his team is that he's not that deep. There's really not a bench. But in this league, the bench does not matter. You need a good starting lineup, and I think he nailed it with his starters. He's got Mike Evans, Doug Baldwin, Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver 3. That's a very good wide receiver 3. His
Absolutely.
running backs, 2 guys that should be workhorses right off the bat. Melvin Gordon, Spencer Ware. I think you put Brandon Marshall in his flex. Zach Ertz is tight end. That's fine. Seattle defense, good starting defense. I think he nailed it with the starters. He could be in trouble if a running back goes down. But again, you know, he's about the starters.
So I'll agree with that. Running back going down. Some people are going to look back. Dupe is back in the playoffs. I've been shitting on almost every team just to shit on people.
You have.
Absolutely. But Dupe honestly had a great draft. And it's not even that he had to do anything. He didn't have to lift a finger.
Sit back.
Like, he just sat
Everything
back
fell
and
to
let
him.
everything fall to him. Melvin Gordon.
He got pretty fucked up.
Melvin Gordon. Yeah, he got fucked up.
Yeah, he
We can
did.
talk about that in a second. Melvin Gordon.
Blake Bortles got a trade in Kansas City.
Melvin Gordon fell to you. Mike Evans fell to you. Doug Baldwin fell to you. In my eyes, Spencer Ware fell to you. Larry Fitzgerald didn't fall to you, but that was the great ADP value. Like, I had a pick there in that 5th round. I wanted Larry Fitz there. Brandon Marshall, next way around, great value there. Eric Decker, not a big
So his
fan of
draft
him.
falls off there, but his starting lineup is already set.
Yeah, but Jameis Winston, good quarterback.
Yeah.
I know there's still good quarterbacks out there. It did fall off a little bit. Like a Jordan Matthews, he's hurt right now. You have Zach Ertz was good, but the Seattle defense are not the same
Do you-
elite defense.
Do
but
you
you got
think
that.
that's a reach? Getting Winston over
Kirk Cousins and Mariota. No, because you know what?
And Newton and Matt Ryan.
You know what?
Winston might have the highest upside.
That
Matt
Kirk,
Ryan.
that Kirk Cousins, Mariota, Jameis Winston is like where they were kind of paired up. Anyways, it's the end of the 8th. Actually, it's the beginning of the 8th, so he did kind of reach in that way. But he just saw.
So
he just
whichever
saw-
guy you like.
Can I say this? I'm very happy that quarterbacks fell this year.
Yeah.
Because in the past years, 5th and 6th, there's quarterbacks going off the
Drew
board
Brees,
like
I thought,
crazy.
was the biggest thing about being in the 5th
Yeah,
round.
that's a good value.
One other thing I just want to add, it's another layer for Dupe's team. Great starters. Doesn't need depth. You don't need depth in this league. Like, you're going to have to drop
You'll
players
find
at certain
them, yeah.
points. Dupe has
Find them
actually
waivers.
experienced that where he had to not even start a defense because he got stuck on a bye week help.
Yeah.
You can't drop certain guys like that. So he's learned that. A bench is a bench. Like, you just get 1 or 2 guys, that's it. Fill your roster at the start. That's what Ton didn't do, and that's what's going to screw him, like, because he's going to have to drop players he took in the 10th and the
He's gonna
9th.
have to drop, but he's gonna have a lot of points on his bench.
Don't
And
forget-
we don't get points for bench.
You
points,
say,
do we?
if
No.
you don't forget, you said
Let's
if-
vote on that next.
if he has a running back goes down. Yeah, it sucks. He's got the third waiver.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. Like you have it, O'Leary, and then Dupe, and in that third spot, you two might look at a player and might pass up on him.
Oh, it's gonna
because
happen.
it's gonna happen because you're like, is it really worth that first waiver? O'Leary, is it really worth that second waiver?
People have done it.
Dupe is going to take that guy that you two are going to pass up on, and it could be something, and it's happened in the past. So Dupe has that.
And he's got
Sometimes-
players he doesn't mind dropping, like a Jonathan
yeah.
Ross dropping.
Hey,
Yeah.
sometimes the third, fourth, fifth waiver is just as valuable as the number one waiver because these waivers have more balls.
Like low-key
Yeah.
Devontae Booker, 15th round. They just said today Jamal Charles could be cut if he has a bad third game in the preseason.
yeah, but this
So-
guy's hurt.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he's the second guy up
He's
next
hurt.
to C.J. Anderson.
That's not a good pick.
Okay, so
He's
who'd be the
hurt.
next? Who'd be the next
I
guy
thought
up?
you were gonna
then?
say like he's a droppable guy, so when a waiver does come
No,
out,
but
he's droppable.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
who's the next guy up then?
I mean, I would have rather
They cut Jamal Charles. Who's the next guy on that team for running back?
what's his name? Deshaun.
D'Angelo.
Yeah, D'Angelo Williams. No,
D'Angelo
something.
Henderson.
Henderson.
D'Angelo
Boom.
Henderson. I think he's the
Everybody's
guy. I don't
talking
think
about him.
Devontae
Just
Booker's the
today
guy.
and today and this past week, everybody's talking
Yeah.
about D'Angelo Henderson.
So Dupe, use your waiver. D'Angelo Henderson, get rid of Booker. You'll be all set. this
Everybody's moving up on the waiver wire.
year. Good draft, Dupe.
FAAB, go fuck yourself. All right, so do you want to dig Tom a grave right now? I think it's T-Gun's turn.
Let's go.
Do you want to read off your own roster?
You can talk about your roster and then you can explain your
Yeah,
actions.
sell it to us. Sell it to us.
Sell me.
All right,
Sell
so
me
you
T-guns.
guys know-
Sell me
know-
last place T guns into playoff T guns.
As soon as you stop talking, I will.
I'm not letting you talk.
So you guys already know most of my roster. If you guys got through all of the Drunken podcast, I started off Aaron Rodgers, Dez Bryant, Todd Gurley, Lamar Miller. Those are my early picks. My first pick in the fifth, I went Tyreek Hill. I think he's a high upside guy. Jeremy Maclin, Jack Doyle, Eddie Lacy, Jameson Crowder, Randall Cobb, Chris Hogan, Jamal Williams, James White, DeAndre Washington, Alfred Morris. Am I talking about it, or are you guys talking about it? I didn't draft a kicker at defense, so if you're wondering why Yahoo only gave me a B for that draft, it's because of that. So I had 4 picks in the 8th, and I just really wanted to shore up my wide receivers. I ended up with, I thought some good guys fell to me. Jeremy Maclin, Randall Cobb, Jameson Crowder. I was pretty proud with that. And then I took some flyers on running backs. A guy like Eddie Lacy, I got him in the 9th round. He could win the job. Like, I don't think he will. He's fat. But he could take that job and get a lot of goal line work.
So
in
can I
Seattle.
just jump in real quick?
Rawls is injury prone.
Yeah, Rawls is
Can I
injured
just jump
already,
in
yeah.
real quick?
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna go like this. Like Jamison Crowder, Randall Cobb, great bench players. No.
Those are good.
Those are
Yeah.
good bench players. But Eddie
Interchangeable.
Lacy, obviously very, very risky right now. Chris Hogan,
Risky in the 9th round.
droppable. Jamal Williams, droppable. James
I don't
White,
think. If you think
droppable.
Jamal Williams is
DeAndre
droppable right now, I don't
Washington,
think that you know
droppable.
fantasy football.
Alfred Morris, droppable. So you have a good enough core that you don't mind dropping those types of players. Yeah, right now that's fine. I can understand, but they're droppable. Like it's not gonna matter. Like when it comes to week 1, you're gonna drop those players. I'm just letting you know.
Chris Hogan is the only guy that I would drop right now. I mean, James White is iffy. But to say Jamal Williams is droppable,
Droppable.
Like, bro, he's a handcuff. To you, he's like you're.
I can
crossing your
understand
fingers.
for the next like 2 weeks.
Listen,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not talking tonight. You're dropping him.
my team doesn't live or die in Jamal Williams, but I know he's not a guy that should be a free agent right now or
No,
on the
use your
waiver
indoor
wire.
voice around here.
Nah, Tom, I'm gonna say this. I'm not trying to be ballsy, go
But don't
out
even-
on a limb, but he will be a free agent.
So,
week 3.
Okay, but don't even base my draft off Jamal Williams, but it took him 12.
We're not.
Yeah.
I like
He's-
your core.
he's
I like the Aaron Rodgers, the Gurley, the Miller, and the Dez. Like and the Tyreek. Tyreek, low key. Like I like that. I love
Upside,
Tyreek.
upside is good.
Upside. That's why I said I like the Macklin, Jamison Crowder, and Randall Cobb. Because even if Tyreek doesn't pan out, you can throw 2 of those guys in there for wide receiver 2 and 3. So I think your wide receivers is a great set of wide receivers. But your running backs, very, very iffy. Gurley has fucked over people last year, and Lamar Miller is a pig. We all know this. You were screaming I had an RB1. Dude, Crowell in the 3rd round scored more points than both of them. Just letting you know. Like, we already went over this. You were trying to embarrass me and everything, tarnish my name. So, wide receivers are good, but I would be sweating on your running backs. If your
No.
running backs can just be...
My running backs work are as safe as anybody in the league. I'm not sweating those guys. Their work is safe.
Tom, Explain to us how you're gonna get to the playoffs with that current roster, or are you gonna have to?
I don't
make a
have to
trade?
explain based on my rosters. I think
Do you even have trade value on your team? Because I feel like you really don't.
Yeah, bro. Everybody's trade value. Bro, I can trade Aaron Rodgers. I can trade Jed Bryant, friggin' Todd Gurley, Lamar.
But when
Miller.
QBs like don't like trade for much.
Yes,
you don't
I
really
have.
see a QB trade.
I
for
have
a
guys
top
I can
QB.
trade. But okay, my team's not great. I think I have a good core. What I should have done is I should have taken some of those 8s and traded up, maybe grab one more like 5th or 6th round. I think would have been better for me because now I got 2 of those 8th round picks on my bench. So yeah, I should have traded up that one pick.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Say something. What do you guys say?
I like
think
that you're co-commissioner.
I do too. Nah, but let's keep it based on my roster.
Okay, let's base it on your roster.
So you guys
Can I
asked me
say this.
So you guys
Can I
asked me
say this?
how am I going to make the playoffs? I don't think it's about. I don't even think it's
We
about
don't,
my
we don't
roster.
Put, we don't put hands on each other. By the
Alright.
way, you gotta watch yourself.
Alright, just say what you
Can I
guys
just say this?
Yeah, say it. Yeah.
I thought this was commission corner. That's why I left.
Can I say this? That I think you're finding a new way to have the best roster possible and not make the playoffs. Because this, I think, is probably one of your better rosters I've ever seen, and you're still not making the playoffs. And we're gonna look back on it and be like, "Wow, you had one of the best rosters."
So after
You're
we
probably-
reviewed 10 teams, Brian has 1 team in the playoffs. Okay, let's move on to the next team.
Who's that?
The
team?
other teams, straight
actually
cash
had
homie, facing straight cash homie.
I
in
actually
week
had
one.
2, and it was Dupe and Lynch Mob. But
Right.
So who's
That's
your
it.
other? Find out next on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z
Talk to us in week 8.
with fucking
how do you
crop
feel that I
top.
shaved my beard?
I think my team is fine though. Like you got like most of my team recap was based
I
on
like your
Jamal
team,
wins,
that's
but I think I'll be fine compared to some of those other rosters that
Tom,
we read off.
I'm gonna say this. I love your core, just like Bab said. And my advice to you, which I don't give advice much, but instead of holding out on your players, like, dude, in the past couple of years, you've been pretty bad luck with fucking AJ Green injury,
Yeah.
AP injury, bro. Make a trade early this year and shock the
and
world
can
and
I-
shake up that roster. Not your good players, but
I want to go on that. The
you know what
injury
I'm
thing.
talking about.
Just the
Yeah.
injury thing, real quick. Lamar Miller, I can see someone being that guy this year that does get hurt. Like just based on his workload the last couple of years, they're gonna have to rely on him a lot, and I don't know. I just feel like if he's someone that gets hurt, like every year you have that injury, it's gonna be someone like that. I'd be looking at your running backs. I'd want to make sure that you have running backs. Your wide receivers are set all year. You don't even have to touch anything like that. I think you'll be set in that department, but you better be actively looking for running backs or making trades for running backs all year.
I don't think that, but so I just want to say like
So one of your running backs goes down, you're absolutely fucked because you're gonna rely on Eddie Lacy. You're gonna like, oh, Jamal Williams. Oh yeah, he'll
dude,
go
we
right
looked
in.
at other teams' rosters. Like there are a lot of teams worse running back situations than me.
yeah,
I'm surprised that you.
I would just chill if I were you.
Yeah, but I just want to say on that, when I think about trading, like, dude, the negative side of my fantasy football is I have like this anxiety where I trade a guy and he blows up after I trade him, which is something I got to work on. Like I got to be able to just freaking cut the leash and let him go. You're right on that.
Sounds good.
He's
All
always
right.
right.
So we're on to the next team. Team Red Zone. I'll do the honors. Can I grab another?
Grab another beer before you read this roster. You might need it. I got you, B.
Thank you.
Strong. I should have worn green.
Should've.
All right, we have Andrew Luck, Odell Beckham, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Jay Ajayi, Ty Montgomery, Martellus Bennett, Dante Moncrief, Frank Gore, Jarvis Landry, Ben Roethlisberger, Ted Ginn Jr., Adam Thielen, James Conner, Buffalo defense.
So
Let's
I
go
think.
together.
Are we gonna talk together?
Let's yeah, not over each other, but let's break down. Let's go.
I think of the rosters named thus far, if I was gonna trade my roster for one roster, this would be it. This would be the one.
Disagree. You wouldn't trade it for Dupe has the best roster.
No.
Dupe has the best roster. He's well rounded. You're running back. Okay, so just like a Melvin Gordon and Spencer Ware, I like better than a Jay Ajayi, and I'm just like him better than a Jay Ajayi. and Ty
Every
Montgomery.
team that we said they're running backs, you said their running backs are bad.
I have 3 RB1s.
Bro, we
I'm
know
just
you
comparing one
listen
team
to
to
me.
another
We
team.
know
I'm
you
just
have
doing
3
that
good
right now.
running backs this year, but you have nobody else besides them and Tom Brady.
Hey,
It's
but
not-
you talk,
But talk about my running backs.
I'm trying to talk
Go,
about
talk.
red
I'm
zone,
sorry.
not straight cash only.
if you're talking about running backs, he has Frank Gore on his bench. Like if you got Frank Gore on your bench, compared to like we've seen Duke Johnson as a starting running back on some of these rosters. We've seen Matt Forte as a starting running back on some of these rosters. He's got Frank Gore on his bench, and you're gonna talk shit about his running backs.
Yeah, talk about something else, Babs.
Frank Gore's old. He's not gonna last.
Okay, but he's
I'm
on
just-
my bench, bro.
Okay, who you have in your flex right now?
His wide
That's
receivers are
Moncrief.
Odell Beckham,
Moncrief?
Amari Cooper, and
Or
DeAndre
Jarvis
Hopkins.
Landry.
That is a freaking wide receiver core. Wilcox,
trust
you need
Jay
to take
Cutler.
lessons from this guy. He knows how to draft wide receivers.
Bro, my flex is better
You
than
have
your
good. You
fucking
have good set
wide
of wide
one.
receiver. You have the best wide receivers right there with Cooper, Odell, and Hopkins. I
I
agree.
don't think the
absolutely.
best. I don't think the best, but I have depth, dude. I have fucking Jarvis Landry, Ted Ginn Jr.
I don't think
who's
you
a
have
great
depth.
flyer.
You're deaf. Like that's.
I don't
the
have
difference.
depth.
No,
At
you
wide
don't.
receiver,
No,
bro.
no. I'm
Jarvis
just talking about
Landry's on
general.
his bench.
I'm talking about general.
But Ted Ginn Jr., Adam Thielen.
Running backs.
I
Running
don't
Frank
backs.
Gore's a benched on his. Frank Gore's on his bench.
He's not really a bench. He put Moncrief
Frank
in
Gore
his
would
flex.
start
He just
for-
said he put
for
Moncrief
8
in his flex.
Frank Gore would start for 8 other rosters.
Frank Gore's his flex.
Okay.
You should be looking at it
I
that
don't
way.
have to even defend myself. Just keep digging me.
I don't know.
Am I possibly the third playoff team in this league out of 6?
No. This is
No,
a 2
we
playoff
changed
format.
it.
Only teams that can make the playoffs are SCH and one other team. That's a good fantasy football.
Do you have a
roster.
defense?
Negative.
You have a kicker?
I have Buffalo defense facing the
You have a
Jets
kicker?
week 1. Negative.
So who you drop him?
James Conner.
James Conner. bro.
He looked pretty good though, like that second game. So
I honestly, I don't like to draft handcuffs. I don't want to.
knowing your fucking luck, just knowing your luck, Bell's not gonna even show up week 1, and
Listen,
then Connor gets the start.
I don't like to do that bullshit. But I took James Conner just because Bell is not there yet.
Yeah.
Bell's gonna be there. We all
It's
know.
a smart GM move that
But
people don't look
I
at.
will toss him to the birds.
I still think you're like not a good drafter at all. Like you had to trade around and shit like that to like even get your team for like the Odell thing kind of fell to you because
Bro,
O'Leary's
you
fucking
trade
retarded.
like we traded for our rosters too. Like I don't like what's wrong with him
no,
trading.
I had
for
the
Odell?
first overall pick and I took.
How'd you get the first overall pick?
I traded it.
There's
I-
a difference
you traded
between
for it.
there's a difference between making the pick and trading for a player that's already been made. I
Right.
never traded for a player that has already been
So
made.
if he traded for this pick, he probably would have taken like a Sammy Watkins there. So I do see what you're saying.
Bro, I'm a bad drafter. I'm a decent trader.
that
I'm
was
a bad
the
human
stupidest
being.
thing I've ever heard. Like, why would you even
So,
say like
hey,
Watkins in the
Babs,
first round?
Babs,
Whoever, put somebody else there. What like your logic is just wrong.
Yeah.
The fact that he traded for Odell is like not good. Like I just don't get it.
I didn't
No,
say
he's
that's
being
not
a
good.
dick. He's
I didn't
being
say
a
it's
dick.
not good. I said
Dude,
it was good.
I
I'm just saying
could
that you
draft
wouldn't-
I could draft Brown,
No, like,
McCoy,
the fact
Beckham,
is, like-
Freeman, Nelson on my team,
I
and
could-
this guy will say, "Bro, you're going fucking 2 and fucking
my thing is this: like,
You don't have a kicker?
2 and
You're not
11,
going to playoffs without a kicker.
2 and 11."
I would just say that I wouldn't even have to make a trade. I'd be like a lynch mob or a Duke, and I'd be very comfortable finding value everywhere. You were so nervous at the end of that first round to have 2 picks like that you knew you would fuck it up. You had to trade. You had to trade all
Yes.
around. You had to trade like
But
for
I'm a better
shit.
trader than a drafter.
Like it's not hard to trade for an Odell Beckham when you get like an absolute steal because O'Leary's a retard. Like it's
then why
not
didn't
hard.
you do it?
Because I didn't want Odell Beckham. Like I can just live without him. I can just live without him.
But you didn't do it, so shut the fuck up.
So another thing I
We're on
want
to
to say
your
is
team.
like when you
Why do you draft 2 fucking quarterbacks?
Because Andrew Luck is obviously injured right now, but I like his upside. Big Ben is playing Cleveland week 1, and I'm playing
Where are they
fucking
playing? Where are they playing?
in Cleveland.
Oh, so Big Ben on the road. Yeah, that's great. That's a great start.
I will start him, and he
Okay,
will probably score more than Tom Brady against Kansas City,
He probably
motherfucker.
will.
If you want to make a bet right now on the podcast, let me know. $25 says Big Ben outscores Tom Brady week 1. I'm not asking for much.
$25.
Let's make it a Maki.
Maki. Yeah.
All right, good.
I'll walk out on the bill again.
what's the bet?
Nah. Maki.
Doesn't matter if he doesn't start
Big
on your
Ben,
team or not.
He's starting on my team, buddy. Shut the fuck up.
No, if Andrew Luck plays week 1, you're gonna start him over Big Ben.
No, I'm not.
No matter what, it's Big Ben and
Big
and
Ben's
Brady.
my starter. I just named my. It's only week 2 in the fucking preseason, and I just named my quarterback. Bro,
What if
Big
Big Ben
Ben
gets
started on my fucking team,
That's his quarterback.
and I'm doing it because I'm playing Brown, and I'm smarter than you, and I'm starting the quarterback to. What's that word?
If you
I'm
were smarter
thinking
than me, would you have made the playoffs last year?
about? No.
to counteract the points that
Yeah.
Antonio Brown was
Exactly. Antonio Brown's probably gonna have 2 touchdowns against me. That's my luck. But
Yeah,
I will
it's
have
not
the
my
points
luck.
for the quarterback,
Yeah.
and that sucks for Pat because that's his best player on his team.
I just want to know who you're
Anyways.
going to drop to get your kicker. That's the problem. with
Oh
your
my
roster.
God.
That
Do
is
I
the problem.
really have to drop fucking James Conner.
So what I don't understand is
Patient.
I don't understand every team
I might play without a kick a week.
I mean, that's gonna be great for just like someone like a Lynch Mob because he has Bell and he'll just take him just as a handcuff.
But I have the
He's
number
worth
one waiver, so I might pick him up on week waiver.
Or
Motherfucker.
or
Just
Lynch
shut up,
Mob
bro.
could just drop Torrey Smith what a waste of a 14 and get James Conner there.
Bro,
on to
Just shut the
SCH, baby.
just shut the fuck up, Babs.
Let's go.
You want to name your fucking roster?
My team is like the 1967
You could probably
Red Sox, the impossible dream. That's what we're going with,
Hey,
man.
you could.
We are the impossible dream. Last year I traded away.
Time
I
out.
got the first pick.
You probably
and the
know your
third
team
pick
by
I
heart.
took Antonio Brown last year, and
You
I
might not know
took
some of his
AJ Green.
receivers, so
I know
give
my
it a
team
while.
by heart. Don't even need that. The fact is, last year I went wide receiver heavy at the start. Didn't work out. I tried it. Still made the playoffs because of the trade value for those players.
I don't remember his team.
Still, I have David Johnson. I have Jordan Howard, guy who has no eyeballs right now. Isaiah Crowell on one of the worst teams ever assembled. I have trade value because and Tom Brady, because I know if I go 1-3 again, I can trade those guys and get better overall value and well round my team after a couple weeks. I'm a team that doesn't mind going 2-2, 2-3, and making a trade. Or I got a team that can go 3-0 and sit on it a little bit like no guts, but I can also know down the line to make a certain trade at a certain point. Yes, my wide receivers are probably the worst wide receivers that you've ever seen, ever drafted. Same
Both options are
time,
pretty bad.
did I ever reach for a wide receiver at all? No, they just fell to me. Does Cameron Meredith have upside? Yes. Cameron Meredith outscored a Stephon Diggs last year, who was picked in the end of the 5th round.
Stephon Diggs missed games, you idiot.
Okay.
That's
I'm just
stupid
letting you know that he scored more points than him there.
That's a fucking stupid argument.
Okay, how about like a Devontae?
Okay.
How about like a Devontae Parker? How about a mid-7th round right here? How about that 7th round? He scored more points than Devontae Parker.
Kyle
He
Rudolph scored more points than Gronk
He
last
scored
year,
more
you
points
fucking
than
idiot.
he scored more points than Moncrief. I'm just
Just
letting you
shut
know
up,
about
bro.
the value right there as well.
All right, so Brian, he knows how to trade. He knows
If
how to
you
put
hate
together.
a team that's on like the one of the worst teams, like so you hate a guy on Jacksonville because they're on Jacksonville, or they're on Cleveland, or they're on Chicago, or on San Fran. There's fantasy players. They can be losing games 40-0. There's fantasy points to be made in those games.
I mean, because Chicago was bad last year, and Howard was still
Howard
great
was
running
the
back.
Howard came in last year, started the 4th week, and had the 2nd most rushing yards on a 3-13 Bear team. Had the 2nd most next to Zeke.
Yeah.
He was overshadowed by Zeke. If he started all those games, he would have been. And he was top 8 last year in terms of fantasy points.
All right, so
David Johnson's David Johnson. David Johnson is like 2 players, like pretty much. Like
All right.
you're getting that out of them. They'll have bad weeks. They're gonna have bad
He's a
weeks.
running back 1 and a wide receiver 2.
Yeah,
100%. I agree.
absolutely.
all right, so I gotta say a couple things.
This is my thing. No, I want to keep going.
I'm gonna talk first, Tom. Is that all right?
yeah.
Cameron Meredith, Coleman, Hearns, Funchess, Sanu, like those guys, like all those wide receivers I taken. And what else did I get at the end there? Zay Jones. Zay
They all
Jones.
scored more points than Keenan Allen last year.
Zay Jones. Now that Bolden retired yesterday, and that Jordan Matthews is hurt, he's like their number one.
Let me
option
guess,
for a
you
wide
knew he was
receiver.
retiring 3 days ago, though.
So the fact is that they all suck. All I want is just 2 of them to be at least wide receiver 2. That's all I need. That's all I want out of those guys. I'm not saying any of them are going to be wide receiver 1. None of them are going to be top 15. I want 2 of them to at least be top 25. That's it. Enough to get me enough production because I know I'm going running backs this year. My running backs, I'm trying my best that those running backs at least score 12 or 13 points a game. It's not going to happen all the time. I've seen that with Crowell. That's what I'm looking at. No, you can smile and laugh about that.
But that's not even 40 points.
No, but there's going to be games where like a David Johnson's having 25 points, and I want my floor to be like 10 points or something like that from a Crowell. Like a bad week for
Wait,
Crowell,
how many
like 10
points
points.
did you just say he's gonna score?
Like 25 points, like David Johnson.
Nah, he's definitely possible. Even 30.
Bro, there's weeks that Brady and David Johnson, like if they have the most greatest week ever, it's like 70 points. It has to be about 70 points. 30 points and like 35 points. 40
That's
points.
not 70.
Yeah.
Just shut up. Alright, go. Can we talk yet? You just explained your roster for like 35 minutes.
Yeah. Go
Alright,
ahead.
can you pause
So-
that music? Can you pause
So
that
who's
music?
going?
Can you pause that music, please?
You going?
Rest in peace to your fucking roster.
Is he gonna put
Rest in peace to your roster.
R.I.P.
He ain't even here.
Are you talking about us?
I'm gonna talk first a little
You
bit.
gonna want them to play? You want me to pause it?
No,
You don't let us play.
we can listen to it.
Alright.
Because we're going to this guy's fucking funeral.
That is
And
true.
I'm undefeated at WrestleMania.
Let's go.
Anyways, this guy got fucking Tom Brady. Decent quarterback. I would rather have fucking Kirk Cousins than Tom Brady. Call me crazy.
You got Ben Roethlisberger late.
15th round.
He could be just as productive as Tom Brady could.
When I'm going to play him for sure. 100%. Cameron Meredith, he wouldn't even fucking sniff my bench. Corey Coleman is fucking trash. Why would you link up your fucking running back that is on a shit team with his fucking running back with his fucking second best wide receiver on the team? Zay Jones is fucking a question mark.
What are you trying to say about the Bears offense? They're not a primetime offense?
No, bro, they're not a fucking primetime offense. Anyways, David Johnson, yeah, he fell onto your lap. Great pick. Anybody would pick him number one pick. In every draft I've been in so far, David Johnson's number one pick.
Steal the draft at pick 2, I think. Steal the draft.
Jordan Howard is a question mark. He could have
Yeah.
went Jay Ajayi right there. Fucking Gurley, Fournette. Anybody right there. It's a coin flip right there.
We've
Whether
talked
you
about this
like it or
before,
not.
like, the box is being stacked against Jordan Howard. He talks shit about Lamar Miller, Todd Gurley. He talks shit about, like, all your running backs. He talks shit about every other running back
They're
on the
all in
board.
the same tier to me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So,
the King Crow. I'm not a fan of Cleveland running backs. I know they have a great offense. I mean, offensive line, blah, 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 bullshit, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not a fan of him in the third round. I'll take him in the fifth. Ebron, trash. Flyer. Good job. You listen to a couple fucking podcasts. Alan Hearns shouldn't even be on a roster. Devin Funchess, decent upside, but he's not going to cut it this year. He might not start for a year team this year. Mohamed Sanu dropped. Chris Conley dropped.
Chris Conley was drafted.
Marlon Mack, you don't even know how to fucking say his name when you drafted him, dropped. Steven Gostkowski, that might be one of the only, like, 6 players you keep on your fucking team.
So,
And Philadelphia defense, we're not even going to talk about
after listening to this roster, it kind of reminds me of the movie Invincible, when Mark Wahlberg tried out for wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I think Mark Wahlberg could play wide receiver 3 on this roster. Do you agree with that?
I agree. Oh, shit.
Um,
Bro, he's fucking lost in the sauce, I feel like. Plain and simple. The guy's fucking... We're all playing chess over here. This guy's playing fucking tic-tac-toe. And he's not even going first. He's going second.
I don't even think he can play tic-tac-toe. But I do like David Johnson pick. Ultimately, like, so
But that's not even...
the way that he trades and stuff, like he was talking about earlier, like he will be in the playoffs. He's going to have a competitive team, but we're just talking about like rosters drafted. And like he talked shit about some other guys like trading draft picks.
But all he talked shit about was running backs today. He didn't talk shit
Yeah,
about wide
because
receivers.
he thinks he's the best running backs. He's lucky as David Johnson, I'll give him that.
But David Johnson fell to him.
Yeah. So
Whatever, you could say what you
he
want.
talked a lot of shit about guys like trading picks and like not really like filling out their roster. And I think he was just like foreshadowing himself. Like I don't know, he invested a lot of stock in those 3 running backs. Brady, like,
He's cooked.
he is cooked.
The Beast Incarnate is here! Everyone is putting me down this year, and that's not gonna happen, because I eat, I sleep, I conquer, and I repeat! You hear me? We're taking this. You think that you can play your music and you think that I'm dead? I'm not dead, baby. I'm just starting.
So the reason why he's doing this is because he needs to wake up some of his wide receivers, because a lot of those guys will probably be sleeping week 1. They probably won't be on NFL rosters.
Brock, I have a question for you, Brock. Listen to me.
No one believes me. I go with the wide receivers, and I'll talk about these wide receivers having wide receiver 2 upside. You know who didn't believe in Brock Lesnar? Everybody else, and he beat Mark Hunt. And that was a big bet. $500, just like my bet with Howie with $500. I'll be winning that. I'll be proving
I like
that
your
my
position
wide
on that.
receiver 2s are going to happen with those picks.
What wide receiver? You don't have a wide receiver too.
Well, Cameron Meredith and Jay Jones.
I like Cameron Meredith. I
Yeah.
think he has upside. They're gonna be trailing like we all said, and they're gonna air it out. And who the fuck else are they gonna throw it to?
Pat O'Leary, if you want to see me at this state of mind, I'll take you on. I got my gloves. I'm ready to go, baby. Let's go.
Oh shit! Week 1. Week 1. Coca Mitch, chill out. Listen to me.
I'm
but
John
I have
Cohen,
one
baby.
thing to say to you.
I'm the favorite here.
Hey, I have one thing to say to you, Brock. At WrestleMania, at the Super Bowl, I'm undefeated against you. I'm 1-0. Will we match up for the Super Bowl again this year? So you can come at my undefeated record?
I will be the 1-1.
Ah, it won't happen. You're already the 1-1-0.
Everyone comes out here and says, Babs, you had such a bad draft. Babs, you traded down and it's shit players. I am 5-0 in opening day matchups. You can say that you had the best draft and you've done that. Historically, I am the best team coming out of draft day. 5-0. That's a stat for you.
What is it?
But you already know what it is.
No,
5-0.
5-0.
How many times that there's been years that there's been a lot of trades before draft day, but after draft day, before week 1. The fact that I'm 5-0 going from week 1, 5-0 after draft day should show that I know what I'm doing. Like the
Yeah, but those
Philadelphia
years you drafted
Sixers.
wide receivers.
What's your record
I
without
drafted
the
wide
bull in
receiver
your
right
house?
there.
That's a wide receiver.
What's your record without the bull in your house?
Oh, I'm 0-0. Whoever has it's gonna obviously have a fucking bad season. So
So are you putting?
So if you're in
this
this
on
league
top?
and you got that bull, you return that shit before week 1.
Yeah,
overcome. We
that's
overcome
nice.
it.
I like it.
Yeah. So should we each just pick our 6 playoff teams real quick, just based off draft? You want
Yeah,
to
I think you
I'll do
should.
it.
I'd ask
Obviously,
you.
trades are gonna come. Our predictions
Yeah.
are gonna change 15.
So these
times.
rosters will not look like this by week 2, but just
Can you
based
pick
off
your
draft.
team or just like you can't have your team in the playoffs?
What do you want to do about that?
I mean that's fine
No,
with you.
you-
Your
you
team's
can
not going to be
definitely
in there
have it.
anyway, so okay.
You can definitely have your
Okay.
team in the playoffs because everybody. It's good to.
yeah.
Well, we don't have to worry about him. So
Anyways, all right. You want me to lead off first, or
Sure,
Tom?
yeah.
All right, playoff teams this year. I have Team Red Zone. I think this was my best draft in history of Legends of Lawtown. Not the best draft of all time, but my best draft, which is not saying much. I'll be in the playoffs. I think Dupe is going to be in the playoffs. I think Spreadsheets is going to be in the playoffs. I think Pat is going to be in the playoffs.
Which Pat?
Pat Brophy. I think Tom is going to be in the playoffs. That's my 5th team, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got Lynch Mob and Spring Sproles.
You
That's
left
6, right?
You left at SCH. SCH is not in the playoffs.
No, not this year.
Who's up next?
Won't happen. You could go, Tom.
All right, my 6. Red Zone is making it. Dupe is making it. It's on mine. All right, so we got Red Zone. Red Zone's he's a regular season champ. Dupe's gonna have a good season. He's gonna make the playoffs. Spreadsheets will make the playoffs. That's 3.
Yep.
T-Guns is making the playoffs.
4,
Lynch Mob is making the playoffs.
5.
You know something? I believe in RIP Cleveland Street, but you can't leave Spring Sproles out of the playoffs. So
6 teams. Woo!
Spring
No,
Sproles is
no
in the
rest in
playoffs.
peace, Cleveland Street. No fucking straight ass on me. Babs, you want to do your research before this? You want me to read the rosters again? Brock.
I'll say that the teams that are not making the playoffs this year. I'm not going to say the teams that are going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
And I'll list them
there
off.
can only be 6 teams not making
I'm
the
going
playoffs.
to tell you the teams that are not making the playoffs
Okay,
this
go.
year. Spring Sproles,
Yep.
down 28-3.
Yep.
Lynch Mob, T-Guns, Games to Throw, No Guts, No Glory, Spreadsheets, Untitled, Dupe, The Oh No's, and Red Zone. Because I don't give a fuck, because you're all below me, because I am going to be the champion this year. It doesn't matter who makes the playoffs. I don't give a fuck who makes the playoffs, because the one who's going to be left standing at the end is going to be me.
Can you pick your playoff team? Now?
Yeah, we just want to know who's gonna be in the playoffs.
I already told you.
Who's gonna be in the playoffs though? That's what we're wondering. Or wait,
You know who the most important person's gonna be in the playoffs? Me.
Okay,
That's it.
We already.
All you need to know.
We already know that, but who else is gonna be in the other 5 teams?
Who will play you in the title game? At least give us that.
Yeah, who's
At
gonna
least
play
give
you
us
in the
that.
title game?
Doesn't matter.
Who's gonna play you? Who's
Second
gonna
is
beat
the
you in the
first-
title game
second
because
is
you
the
can
first
never win the
lose.
title game?
What's your record in the title game? We know you're 5-0 on week 1, so you must know your record for playoff.
What's your record in the title game? Your co-commissioner asked you. So who's gonna be the 3rd seed? You're gonna be the regular season champ and the.
Who will be the first team? Who will be the first team that left just out of the playoffs? Like who's that? Who's that fringe team that just barely misses the playoffs? It doesn't matter.
Send it. That's it. Send it. Yo, I got 5 minutes.
Beast, baby! We're back! Let's go! Fantasy football season! We've been excited!